Matisse is a famous artist regarded as one of the people that defined visual arts through the early decades of the 20th century. Because there's not a lot of information available about the value and use of asymmetrical balance and the brightness-weight illusion, I've created this video to illustrate the use of these concepts in the work of Henri Matisse, so that you don't have to sit through an explanation of the brightness-weight illusion and asymmetrical balance in every video that I produce. I've created a separate video, and a link is included in the comments below, so you can watch that video at your leisure and then come back and enjoy these videos. For now, I've simplified the concept down to the phrase small dark equals large bright. And so you can witness the progression of Matisse's style throughout his life, I've put the paintings in chronological order for this presentation. In this first painting, on the far right, there's a small dark shape and a dark green shape that appears to be a stand of trees. And this serves as the weight of the image, or the small dark that is counterbalanced by the large bright. On the left, of course, we've got this large, bright side of a wall of a house and some bright sky that serve as the counterweight to this small dark. So small dark equals large bright. And that basically is the construct of this image from the perspective of asymmetrical balance and the brightness-weight illusion. In this painting on the right, we have these small dark shapes here that are counterbalanced by these large bright shapes, the red leaves and the purple and the yellow. So small dark equals large bright. In this painting, the small black shape and the small dark green shape combined serve as the weight of this image, which is counterbalanced by the large bright shape over here, the hillside that's painted in orange and pink and blue. Yes, there are other components to this painting, but generally, the way that I see it, this small dark area here is the weight, and this large bright area here is the counterweight. In this painting, interesting, the use of space between brush strokes. So on the middle left, you see a concentration of dark green and blue, which for me serves as the weight of this photograph. And then as we progress over to the right, notice that the space between the brush strokes is further apart than on the left. You see on the left how these brush strokes are fairly close together. And then as we move over to the right, they're more spread out. And down here, there's a lot of empty space as well. And so this gives the impression of brightness, or if we use the concepts of physical weight, this side of the painting appears lighter than this side according to the brightness-weight illusion. So this small dark area here is the weight, and this large brighter area here is the counterweight. In this painting, the weight is comprised of the ocean, this shape here, and the dark green mounds here. So these two together are the small dark counterbalanced by the large bright shapes here. Now, interestingly, the green shapes here change from a dark tone to a brighter tone as we get over to the left. Now, I can't say for sure, but I think that Matisse made these tones brighter than these ones so that these shapes here could contribute to the counterbalance of the bright trees and the bright cloud. So ostensibly, this area here is the large bright, and this here and this here are the small dark. One of the nice things about understanding asymmetrical balance and the brightness-weight illusion is that you can kind of get into the head of the artist and understand how they problem solved creating balance. If, for example, these mounds were as dark as these mounds here, I think that the painting would have been slightly out of balance. I think he got to a certain point in the painting and realized these need to be brighter in order to create enough counterweight here for the weight of this and this. Let's have a look at a sketch done by Matisse in 1945. Before I give my analysis of this image, think about how you feel this image balances. I'm going to put a line through the middle of the image so we can see the two parts succinctly. On the right, we have 1, 2, 3, 4.5 large flowers and 1, 2, 3 small flowers. On the left, we only have 1, 2, 3.5 large flowers and 2 small ones. So how do the two sides of this image balance each other? Well, the 3.5 balance the 4.5, the 3.5 on the left balance the 4.5 on the right due to this dark line here. Remember, the brightness weight illusion is that darker objects appear to have more weight. And so the additional black line here gives more weight to the left side of the painting. So in that way, 3.5 equals 4.5. But what about the smaller flowers? On the left, we have 2 small flowers way over to the far left. And then on the right, we have 3 flowers at the bottom. So how do these balance each other? Well, by virtue of the fact that these small flowers are way over to the left, they have more weight than more centrally located flowers. If you think of the two as being on a balance scale, the ones on the left being further out are going to outweigh the ones that are just in the middle. Plus the empty space. Negative space doesn't carry a lot of weight, but still has some weight. So the empty space here and here, plus the fact that there's a little bit of a third flower down here, means that these 3 equal, or these 2 and a smidge equal these 3 flowers here. And Matisse has essentially transformed this from a mere mechanical recording of a scene to something that's on the next level using this concept of balance or geometry. Confined to a wheelchair due to stomach surgery and not being able to stand at an easel, Matisse resorted to painting paper of different colors and then using a pair of scissors to cut out these shapes and have an assistant place them on a wall according to his instructions. This complicated process worked out very well, and he was able to create an image that's, in my opinion, very well balanced, and it's a beautiful image. Now remember again that the balance, the brightness weight illusion, that darker objects appear to have more psychological weight. That means that these 2 objects here and these 2 objects here kind of cancel each other out because they're on either side of the image. And therefore that leaves us with this small dark object here counterbalancing this large bright empty space here. It's not quite enough to counterbalance this small, but if we move further down into the painting, have a look and notice that Matisse placed these 3 larger orange objects here just off to the right of middle, contributing to the weight on the right side of the image. And if you look at this, it's quite complex, and he's very carefully worked out the mathematical problem so that the 2 parts of this image do balance quite nicely. I took this photograph yesterday of my eldest daughter. No, wait, it's my wife. And I'm saying the same thing from a geometrical perspective. What I'm trying to say is this large, bright column, the dark underside of this platform and the bright part, and all of these lines and shapes on the right serve to counterbalance these 2 truncated figures and the central figure, creating balance between, oh, and also this black shape here. So all of these things, I feel, serve to counterbalance all of these things. Now, you may disagree, and I'd be interested to hear if you feel there should be more or less on the left or more or less on the right to help this image balance. For many years, I have struggled to find good information about composition or image structure or form. And now that I understand these concepts and can actually use them myself, I'm creating these videos to share these ideas with you so that you can get more out of looking at painting or photography or imagery in general. And if you so choose, to create your own imagery. With this video, I'm adding to a body of evidence I'm creating to illustrate that many artists have used the concepts of asymmetrical balance and the brightness weight illusion to create order and structure and form to their work. In the future, you can look forward to videos from me about the use of asymmetrical balance and the brightness weight illusion in other disciplines, including architecture, interior design, photography, cinematography, and music. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing, and I thank you for your time.